everybody, it's Kira and welcome back to my channel. So today I have my top 5 favorite books of 2021. It's crazy that I was able to get this list to 5. These are in no particular order, but I read a lot of books. I read 50 books in the last year, but I feel like there wasn't quite as many books that I'm like, oh my gosh, I would reread this in a heartbeat kind of books this year, which is okay, it's fine. But that means that I just have a top 5 for my favorites. So I don't have a few of them with me physically, but I will still tell you about them anyways. So again, these are in no particular order because I'm not about to rank my top favorites of the year. There's no way I can do that. But let's get into my favorite books that I read in 2021. So first I'm going to talk about The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. This is John Green's first nonfiction book, and am I slightly biased because I love both the Green brothers so much and all the work they do? Maybe, but I just found this book so captivating, so fascinating, and just like heartfelt. So this is a book of reviews on different, as he says in the podcast that originally started this book, different facets of the human-centered planet based on a 5-star scale. So John takes an item, a thing, an animal, a feeling, whatever, and rates it on a scale of 1 to 5. And through this review, and then like writes a review about it. And the reviews are part fact, so a lot of times he gives like the history of said object or different things going on like right now, facts about it, like current facts, but then he also gives a lot of like memoir type things. So I know he says in the beginning of the book that, you know, he was thinking about doing it strictly like as, I can't think of the word right now, but like where you take yourself out of it as impersonal as possible. But then his wife was like, well, any review you ever write is about your personal experience with the thing. So John gets into a lot of like his own history and his experiences and how he thinks about the world. The one on Googling strangers made me cry. It's so good. Of course, he has one on Auld Lang Syne, which is also like so fantastic. It's really, really good. One on sunrises or no, it's sunsets. It's sunsets. That's also fantastic. So, and then there's ones on like Canadian geese and the one hot dog stand in not Sweden, Norway. Crap, I can't remember. But there's like this really famous hot dog stand. Shoot, now I don't remember, and I don't have the book in front of me. But there's all sorts of different things that he reviews, and I just really love John's writing, and the way that he explains things is just so like precise and makes a lot of sense. And I fell in love with this book. Like I said, maybe I'm a little bit biased because I love the Green brothers and all the work that they do, but I just found this so amazing. And it originally started as a podcast called The Anthropocene Reviewed, so if you want to look into that, the podcast is also good, and the audiobook of the book is narrated by John Green himself. So yeah, it's just, it's really, really good. Next up, I will talk about The Flat Chair by Beth O'Leary. Oh my goodness, The Flat Chair, The Flat Chair, The Flat Chair. So I originally read this book because my roommate read it. So she got it from the library. I think she just like saw it online somewhere and got it from the library. She read it and she was like, Kira, you have to read this book. So I was like, okay. So I borrowed her copy and I read it in like 2 days straight, guys. It was so good. It's just fantastic. So we have our 2 main characters named Tiffy and Leon. So the book is told from dual point of view. And so Leon owns this apartment and he needs a little bit of extra money, and so he decides to rent out his apartment. He works at a hospital during the night shift, so he's gone during so he's working while everybody else is sleeping, and then he's home for like a 9 to 5 kind of thing. So he's like, perfect, I can rent out this room. Tiffy is coming out of a bad relationship and is looking for a cheap place to stay, and she finds this apartment, and so they end up sharing this flat, sharing this apartment, sharing this bed because it's a one-room apartment. So they share a bed, but they've never met each other, and it's so good. Oh my gosh. So you have Tiffy and Leon learning how to cohabit this space and learning about each other. They leave notes for each other, like sticky notes for each other, and that's how they communicate a lot of the time. They do have each other's phone numbers, or I think they eventually get each other's phone numbers, so eventually that kind of stops. But you like learn a lot about a person by like the space that they live in, and so it's a lot about like them learning about each other and just Tiffy learning how to like heal from this really terrible relationship that she was in. And the romance is so cute, it's so good, and it's like there was only one bed trope, but like flipped on its head a little bit. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's just fantastic, and really well written and wonderful, perfect ending. And there's a twist near the end though that I did not see coming and was like, wait, what happened? And there's like, 30 pages left in the book and you're like, wait, how is this gonna get resolved? But it's, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's well worth the read. Next up, I'll talk about Crosstalk by Connie Willis. This is a sci-fi kind of fan. I don't know how to classify it. So this takes place in like present day, where there is an operation you can have called an EEG, and it's supposed to make you more susceptible and more able to like feel emotions from a romantic relationship. So our main character's name is Brittany, and she has a boyfriend named Trent who works at the same like technology company that she does, or communications company. Sorry, it's communications company. So they work at the same communications company, and Trent convinces Brittany to get this implant, and then he's like, so you will know how much I love you, and then I will propose, which right off the bat kind of seems a little weird. But anyway, so she decides to get this operation done. So she gets it done, and finds out she's not connected to Trent. She actually connects to someone else who works at her building named CB. But it's not just emotions. She's actually having full-on conversations in telepathy. So she's like freaking out because this is not supposed to happen. So then you have Brittany trying to figure out what the heck is going on because she's been bonded to the wrong person, and something in the implant went wrong where she has actual telepathy instead of just emotions. And it's so cool. Like, telepathy in general, I think, is like such an interesting concept, and I love the way that it plays out in this book. All of the descriptions are so vivid and just amazing, and I love how Brittany kind of like doesn't like what's going on, and so she tries to change it, but then like she doesn't know what she's doing, so she's trying to figure out, and CB is trying to help her through this stuff. And oh my gosh, it's so good. It's really, really, really fantastic. Next up we have Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This is actually the first Marissa Meyer book that I've finished, which feels really silly because she's written a ton of really amazing books. But this follows our main character, Kath, who is, sorry, this is an Alice in Wonderland, or Queen of Hearts retelling kind of thing. So it follows Kath, who is like high in status, and she has caught the eye of the King of Hearts, but all she wants to do is open a bakery with her friend Marianne. But the problem comes when the new court jester comes to town. So we have Jest, who is so cool. Oh my gosh. So then Kath starts to fall in love with Jest, and there's more mystery and lots more going on. Just the tension that builds in every single scene between Kath and Jest is so insane, and it kept me reading like so fast. I was reading this at work, so I actually didn't finish it quite as fast as I probably could have if I was reading it here at home, but like I finished it so fast anyways. It just, the tension is so, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like delicious and like, I don't know, it's so good. But like there's this whole like we can't have this relationship because like the King of Hearts is kind of pursuing Kath, but then like she wants to be with Jess, but that's not what's expected of her, and she really wants to open this bakery, but like she knows her parents won't let her do it, so she's kind of living these like two lives, this like dream world and the reality, and then it, you know, the things happen, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it's so good, and oh my gosh, I fell in love with this book. It's so fantastic. And then the last up, we have Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. This book I read in one day. Speaking of reading books fast, I read this book in one day. It was so good. So we follow our main character Evie, who has kind of decided that romantic relationships just don't work as her parents are getting divorced. And she finds this random book called Instructions for Dancing, this magic book. So it allows her to see the beginning, middle, and end of different couples' relationships. And so because it's a dancing book, she decides to return it to the owner, and she finds this address for this dance studio. And so she kind of gets roped into learning how to dance and dancing in a competition with this guy named X, who is the grandson of the owners of the dance studio. And it's just about love and dancing and romantic relationships, and like, is love really worth all of that heartache that often comes along with it? And Evie and X's relationship are so good. It's so fantastic. Just like watching them. I've said fantastic like 5 times now. Sorry about that. But it's so good, like watching them learn both to dance with each other and learn about each other. There's this really fun scene where their instructor makes them go out and dance for tips, and they kind of have to figure out how to like dance for an audience. It's very cool. I loved that scene so much. But yeah, it's just such a beautiful, fast read and just really well done. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's so good and I love it so much. So yeah, those are all of my favorite books from 2021. Comment down below, let me know what you guys read in 2021 and what your favorites were, or if you've read any of these books and want to leave your thoughts. I'd love to chat with you in the comments below. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to follow me on social media, all my links will be in the description as always. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!